Welcome back to the channel, and to this 2000 point battle between Custodes and Knights. We're playing Decapitation Strike from Chapter Approved 2018. First off, a look at our army rosters. Since the ungodly nerf to the Telemon, I decided to try him out in a different role, and I'm using one gun and a fist this time, although the fist is on order so I'm proxying it for now. Unacceptable! We placed our objectives like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's frontline assault deployment, and Knights have the first turn. They draw a Titan killer, priority orders defend 2, and assassinate. I'll just mention now that in this mission, when you kill a character the enemy loses one objective card, or D3 if it was their warlord, and both of us somehow completely forgot this mission rule for the entire game.
Nothing means anything to you, does it?
Anyway, here's his turn 1 movement. The Castellan hangs back, the Gallant is able to get pretty close, which I think is thanks to the Landstrider thing on the Atrapo, which is also his warlord. The Atrapo moves up to sit on objective 2, behind the big wall. Here's a better shot of the Atrapo. Yeah, I know it's not pronounced like that, but this frickin' thing won't say it any other way. It's an amazing model, towering over the other Knights, and beautifully painted. So, on to shooting. Considering the firepower he brings to bear, it's nothing short of abysmal. My Vexillus really helps, as everything's in range of him. I end up losing just 1 bike from 1 unit, and 4 wounds from a Custodes. He then prepares to make a nasty charge with the Gallant. With its huge base size, it should actually be able to catch all of my jet bikes and my warlord in combat. I guess the bikes should have been more spaced out. Anyway, he rolls for his charge, and rolls a mother frickin' snake eyes. He uses a command point and manages to convert it into a 4-inch charge, which means he can only reach my unit of 2 bikes. This means my other unit of 3, on the left, are free to perform a stooping dive against him.
Hello.
They mess him up pretty good, doing 16 wounds altogether, which leaves him with only 8 left. Trajarn even manages to refund all 3 command points again, which he did in my previous game too. However, in retaliation, the Gallant wipes out the already depleted unit completely. So, he doesn't score any objectives yet, but the Gallant did pick up first blood for him. My turn 1 objectives are Secure 4, Mission Critical 5, and Secure 2. Pretty easy, except that last one, as there appears to be a great big fuck-off Knight standing on the objective. In movement, 1 Custodes zips across to grab objective 5. The 3 bikes stay in combat, and pretty much everything else crowds round in order to ensure the Gallant gets shanked good and proper. In hindsight, I think the 3 bikes should have flown off towards objective 2 and tried to A, secure it, and B, stop him from scoring his defend card, but I was too scared of him heroically intervening, and slaughtering all the bikes with his 6 damage melee weapon, so I didn't do that.
Sorry, I can't rewind.
In shooting, the Custodes on the left takes aim at the Atrapo, and holy frickin' shiz. It just goes fucking nuts, plus he rolls terribly for his invulnerable save rolls. The Custodes ends up doing 16 wounds, the second Custodes has no such luck, and only contributes 2 more, but this does leave the big bastard with only 9 wounds left now, a much less scary prospect. I think the Vindicare actually wounds a Knight, but his mortal wound thing fails to go off. Fair enough, as he's about as out of his element as can be, in this battle, so in combat, my charging units obviously completely muller the Gallant. To my dismay and panic, however, he rolls a 6 for his explosion test. And he rolls motherfrickin' boxcars for the explosion size. The results are pretty devastating, with 6 wounds going on to the already wounded Custodes and 2 on the other, and 6 wounds on my untouched bike unit, along with a ton of other wounds as you can see here. Well, at least the fucker's dead. So this turn I score first strike, Secure 4, and Mission Critical 5, for a total of 3 points. Knights now also score Defend 2, for 2 points, but it was also a priority order, netting them 3 bonus points. The score, then, is 6-3 to Knights. Turn 2, and Knights discarded Assassinate last turn, and to go along with Titan Killer, they draw no prisoners, secure 2, and yield no ground. The Castellan and Atrapo stay put, and the Warglaves just bound round the flank some more. His shooting is more effective this turn, and he destroys the badly wounded Caladius and puts 4 more wounds on the other one, leaving it on 8, does a bunch of wounds to the bike unit leaving one guy left with 1 wound, and kills a custodian or 2. So this turn he scores all 4 of his objectives, bringing his total to 10. Killing the Caladius netted him Titan Killer and no prisoners. He's already on objective 2, and I have no one in his deployment zone, so he gets yield no ground. My turn 2 cards are Kingslayer, Hold the Line, and Secure 6, plus I already had Secure 2. My Telemon deep strikes near the Castellan.
Surprise, motherfucker!
I totally forgot to tell you that I put him in deep strike at the start of the battle, but you already knew that of course since he wasn't on the table. My wounded jet bike also heads towards the Castellan. My warlord flies to the other side of the wall, near to the Atrapo, to try and secure objective 2. The rest of my guys stay back to ensure I score Hold the Line. In shooting, the Telemon gets 2 wounds from its big gun onto the Castellan, but it has a 4-up in Von versus shooting, and makes both saves. The Caladius then manages to finish off the Atrapo. Here's a shot of my opponent's hand descending from the heavens to whisk it away. Killing this bugger will let me slay the warlord, Kingslayer, and secure 2, as my warlord is standing right there, and thankfully the knight didn't blow up this time, so now it's just a matter of trying to charge the Castellan. The Telemon declares first, as the bike only has 1 wound left so it's too risky. Nothing too bad happens in Overwatch, in fact I think I might escape unscathed. I fail the charge, but still have a CP to reroll one of the dice. This is frickin' tense. The reroll comes good, and the Telemon makes its charge.
Yes!
The bike also makes it, as you can see. Without a source of rerolls available, the Telemon is a little unreliable with only 4 attacks, and of course it has that less than ideal -3 AP. I can't remember if it was a failed hit or wound, or if he made a save, but I think 3 attacks go through, causing 12 wounds. The bike contributes a couple more, leaving the Castellan on 14 wounds. So this turn, I scored all my objectives except Secure 6, which was too far away to reach. I only roll 1 for Kingslayer, so combined with Slay the Warlord, I get 4 more points this turn, putting me on 7. Knights turn 3. A simple set of objective cards for them, Secure 6, Secure 4, and Area Denial. Objective 4 is too far away, in my deployment zone, but the other 2 are doable. The Castellan falls back. And the Helverins separate, with one heading back to his side of the board, and the other staying in mine. In shooting, the Castellan splits fire between the Telemon and Caladius, leaving the Telemon with 5 wounds left, and the Caladius with just 2. My last regular jet bike also goes down, to some crappy stubber shots I think. And then, the Helverins finish off my warlord.
No.
Starting with so few CP, I really couldn't justify spending 2 more on Victor of the Blood games, and let's be honest, with a 3++ and a 5-up feel no pain, he can look after himself, but the 3 damage on the Helverins guns is just brutal. Killing him nets Knight Slay the Warlord and Area Denial, plus they secured objective 4 with the Helverin there, so they get 3 points, putting them up to 13. My turn 3 cards are behind enemy lines, Assassinate, and keep them at spear's length. That last one awards 1 CP if there are no enemies within 3 inches of any of your models at the end of the turn. The Telemon squares up to the Castellan again. My Caladius still hangs back, and my remaining foot troops start to jog up the board. I think the Vindicator may have gotten picked off in a previous turn. This time, I do manage to do some wounds to the Castellan in shooting, although I think this is mostly from the Telemon. As the Caladius whiffs completely, the Telemon then charges into the fray once more, taking no wounds from Overwatch. If I can finish off the knight, I'll score 2 of my objectives, as it's a character for Assassinate, and there'll be no one within 3 inches of my models. Due to the Telemon's large base size, there was no way I could get wholly within the enemy deployment zone whilst also charging the Castellan. Anyway, I only managed to get a couple of wounds through this time, and I leave the Castellan with 2 wounds left. Therefore, I score no points this turn, so I'm still on 7, while Knights are on 13.
How is that fair to me?
Knights turn 4, and they draw Big Game Hunter, Advance, and Mission Critical 2. So he just moves a Halverin up to secure objective 2, and makes sure the Castellan isn't in his deployment zone. In shooting, he rolls pretty terribly, and only does 4 wounds to the Telemon, and 1 wound to the Caladius, so both the tank and Dreadnought are sitting on 1 wound now. So he scores 2 of his objectives, only missing out on Big Game Hunter, and goes up to 15 points. Custodes turn 4, and I don't have a picture of my cards.
For fuck's sake.
Oh well. I've still gotten better overall at recording them. It doesn't really matter now, anyway. I don't move the Telemon, as he's quite close to the Castellan still, and I don't want a -1 to hit in shooting. Trajarn heads for the central Halverin. In shooting, I do absolutely fuck all, except 1 wound to the Castellan. 1. I don't know if I just missed, or if he rolled hot on his 4++, but neither the tank nor the Dread are able to finish off the knight. Trajarn makes a long charge against the Halverin, and messes it up pretty bad, but isn't able to kill it. I really wish that guy brought some flat melee damage to the army, instead of D3, but what you gonna do? Finally, the Telemon attempts a desperate charge to try and finally kill the motherfrickin' Castellan, but is destroyed by Overwatch. That nets Knight's Big Game Hunter, putting them on 17. I scored no points again this turn, so I'm still on a measly poxy frickin' 7. So, with Knights going into turn 5 with a 9-point lead, and the Castellan still somehow in play, I concede the game. Well, it felt like I had extraordinarily good luck in the first part of the game, what with the Gallant rolling a crap charge and allowing me to stooping dive, my 1 Caladius absolutely ripping into the Atrapo in turn 2, and tanking a lot of damage with the Telemon overall, but I just wasn't able to finish the job off, whereas Knights were relentlessly frickin' nailing every single one of their objectives every turn, so well played to them. I have to say, I did enjoy the deep striking Telemon, and may try him out a bit more in future games. That about does it, so thanks for watching.
Like and subscribe.
You filthy animal.